Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about, does no contact work when you've been friend zoned and you also work together? So if you've been friend zoned, you need to move on totally. You need to move on completely if you've been friend zoned, right? The first rule of dating, okay, and you need to keep note of this, okay? So get a pen and paper or get your smartphone out and write this as a memo on your phone. The first rule of dating is only pursue those who reciprocate, right? So if you get rejected, you got to cross them out of your list, right? You got to be like, okay, right, that one's not it. That one's not for me. I got to move on, right? That is the first rule of dating. Anyone that doesn't reciprocate is a waste of time. Waste of time, okay? If they're not enthusiastic about you or they reject you, they're not worth your time. Right, so how do you know if someone's right for you, right? If you should pursue this person, right? You pursue them if you ask them out on a date and they say yes. That's someone who wants you. That's someone who reciprocates. That's someone who is ready and willing and able, right? Someone who says yes to going out with you, okay? However, with that sort of thing, sometimes you can ask someone out on a date and they say yes and they flake on you, or they come up with an excuse not to see you, or something like that. And if it's someone like that, then you should rule them out. But if they give you an alternative, like, oh yeah, I know we've made plans for Saturday, but I can't come because of this reason, but I can see you on Sunday. Now that is someone better, right? That's someone who is still in the game, someone who's still interested. But someone that flakes on you or friend zones you or rejects you and doesn't give you any alternative times when you ask them out on a date and they say yes, but then they say no down the line, like they say like 15 minutes before the date, sorry, I can't come, and they don't give you all that alternative time and date, then they're not the one, right? You got to rule them out, right? So if you've been friend zoned, there's not really much you can do, right? They've friend zoned you, right? If they were attracted to you, they wouldn't have friend zoned you, right? And you know this. If you're really attracted to someone and you really like them, you're not going to friend zone them, right? You're not. If they came up to you and said, "Hey, I really like you," you'd be like, "Yeah, I like you too. Let's hang out. Let's go out on a date." That's what you would do. So if they friend zone you, then they're not there. They're not at that place. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be with you. Okay, so the only time someone may be attracted to you and friend zone you is if they are married or already in a relationship. That's the only time that they'll friend zone you. If they're single, they like you, they will not friend zone you. They just won't. So, because the point is that the no contact rule only works on people who have romantic feelings for you. So, the only way that this could work out for you, if they're friend zoned you, is if they had hidden romantic feelings for you, right? But that makes no sense, because if they liked you and they had feelings for you, they would have reciprocated, but they didn't. So it's probably not that case where they have hidden feelings for you, because even if you had, let's say you had hidden feelings for someone, and this person came up to you and said, "Hey, I think you're really cute. When are you free to hang out? I would really love to get to know you." You'd even if your feelings were hidden for them and you were hiding those feelings from them, you'd still want to be with that person. You would still want to hang out with them. You'd still want to romantically be involved with them. Okay? And sometimes I get people saying things like, yeah, well, sometimes people are just not ready for a relationship and that's why. Right? Some people are just not ready. But the point is that they still friend zoned you. Right? So therefore they're not there. They're not emotionally available yet. You shouldn't be waiting in the wings for anybody. Right? Especially people that have friend zoned you, even if they do have these magical feelings inside for you that are just hidden somehow, right? Because you're just wasting your time, and who's to know if they're ever going to come round? You don't know that, and they probably aren't going to come round if they're friend zoned you. So it's best to just, if someone friend zones you, yeah, you should do the no contact with them. You should apply the no contact rule with them. But you shouldn't be hoping or waiting for them to actually make a move and to break no contact and for them to magically change their feelings for you, because it's very unlikely that's going to happen. First rule of dating, only pursue only pursue those who reciprocate. Only those people. Only those people. If they don't reciprocate, if they friend zone you, reject you, or you do ask them out and they say yes, but then they flake on you and they don't give you that alternative time and date, then you gotta let them be. You gotta let them be. Okay? So it makes sense then, if someone fancies you, if someone really fancies you and wants to, it has romantic feelings for you, they're not going to friend zone you. Then they're just not. Right? Unless they are not single. Then they may friend zone you because they're already in a relationship. Okay? So that's the only other time that they will do that. It's the only exception I can find of someone that's going to friend zone you but still have romantic feelings for you. It's because they're with someone else and they respect their marriage and their relationship. So then, if you work together with this person and you're applying the no contact rule by this person that friend zoned you, what do you do? Like, because obviously some people are like, well, I can't do the no contact rule because I work with this person, or we still have kids together, or something like that. Well, the thing is then, is if you work with someone who you're doing the no contact rule with, the thing that you do is you treat them like everybody else that you work with. You treat them like every other colleague that you have. You don't give them special treatment, right? So that means you just, so think of like the most neutral person that you work with, right? The person that, you say hello to, you say, hi, how are you? But you're not friends with them. You're not particularly, you don't hate them. You don't dislike them in any way. You have like completely neutral feelings towards them, right? And you always say good morning and all that kind of stuff. That's how you must treat this person that has friend zoned you. You must treat them like absolutely that neutral person, right? And everyone else that you work with. Don't give them special treatment at all. So that means you don't, initiate anything with them unless, you have to. For example, let's say you're walking past each other in a corridor. You might say, hey, how are you? Something like that. You don't just blank them and ignore them, because that would show off that you're affected by them. And you don't want them to think that way. You want, you want them to see that you're completely unaffected, because usually the people that we respond to the most, especially women, are the ones that are affected least by us, right? So that means we respond mostly to those people that don't give us special treatment, right? Or, for example, another kind of version of special treatment is when you're when you're ignoring them, blanking them, or you're kind of sitting there looking really sorry for yourself, right? And, making it very clear that you're bothered by their presence. You don't want to do that at all. You want to be completely neutral and treat them like that neutral person who you work with, okay? And that's what you do. You just treat them like a normal, regular, boring colleague that you work with, okay? And if you do have to speak to them, you speak to them only about the work. Only about the work. You don't, say, hey, how are you? Unless perhaps maybe they do that first. So let them do all of the emotional moves, basically, like saying, hey, how are you? And things like that. And inquiring about your life. But, and then when they do that, then obviously you can reciprocate and ask about them. But you're not the one that's going to do that. If you ever have to speak to them and you have to initiate a conversation with them, you must speak to them in a business-like manner, right? And not be mopey, not be angry, not be sad, not be anything. You're just talking to them like a regular colleague, right? And that's basically how you treat someone who you're doing the no contact with if you work with them, okay? But what you got to remember, though, is that this person has friend zoned you. So no amount of you doing and applying the no contact rule or treating them like a neutral employee is going to make them change their mind about you. If they've friend zoned you, there's not a lot you can do about it, because they just don't reciprocate. They just don't feel it. They just don't want to be in something romantic with you. And there's not a lot you can do about that, because you can't change someone's feelings about you. The only thing you can do is you're only in control of your own actions, basically. So that means, you can make yourself the best version of you, but if by doing that, though, that doesn't necessarily mean that person is going to unfriend zone you, right, eventually. Right? You have to move on when someone has friend zoned you. You really, really do. If someone's friend zoned you, they are out. If they only see you as a friend, you have to consider them as out of the romantic game. If they only want to be friends, you need to move on, find someone else. That's it. Okay? And, you know, maybe in time, maybe things will change. But most likely, like 99% of the cases, nothing's going to change and they're always going to see you as a friend. Okay? So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.